Alright, so in this video we go over formulas and problem solving section 2.3. Alright, so in this case, well, we are going to be given a formula that has more than one variable. Typically, these are going to be formulas that we have seen from geometry, from physics, from chemistry, well, not that we are going to do any physics or any chemistry here. The only thing we are going to do is work with those formulas, and we are going to solve for some specified variable. For example, this one right here. V equals LHW, which is the formula to find the volume of a rectangular box. They're asking us to solve it for W. And all we do here, well, observe all the letters. Notice L, H, and W, they are all multiplying. In order to get the W by itself, all we have to do is divide both sides by LH. Right? That's going to cancel the L, that's going to cancel the H. And that's going to leave us with W by itself, which is going to be V over LH. And that's about it. That's all we do. For letter B, we have, well, let's actually write what it is for. Volume of a rectangular box. And we call this, this one has a fancy name, parallel pipette. That's the fancy name, parallel pipette. Now let's look at letter B. So we have the formula P equals 2L plus 2W, and that's the formula that we use to find the perimeter of a rectangle. Alright, so P equals twice the length plus twice the width. They're asking us to solve for the length. So the first thing we do is we want to isolate the L. So we subtract 2W on both sides of the equation. So that's going to leave us with 2L equals P minus 2W. And in order to get the L by itself, all we do is divide both sides by 2. Cancel, cancel. And this is L equals to P minus 2W divided by 2. Alright? And that's final answer. That is final answer. Alright? Let's look at letters C and D. Okay, for letter C, notice the most prominent feature here is the fraction. So again, go back to section, well, I mean, not that you need to go back, but we might want to recall that every time we have some fractions, what we do is to, well, let me actually write it down again. Multiply both sides by the LCD. In this case is 3. So that's gonna give us 3V equals, notice how this 3's cancel, equals AH. And in this case, the target variable, that is the variable that we want to solve for, is the letter H. So all we do is divide both sides by A and get H equals to 3V over big A. And that's all. That's all we do. One more to go, one more. Alright, so area, it's an area A equals 1/2 times H times the sum of big B plus B little b, right? Okay, so in this case, they're asking us to solve for little b. Well, notice little b is inside of parentheses and it's also multiplying, and it also has this ugly looking fraction. So what are we going to do with that ugly looking fraction? Well, multiply both sides by, in this case, multiply by 2. All right. So that's going to give us 2 times a, which is 2a. And notice how these 2's are going to cancel, leaving us with h times b plus little b. All right. So there's a few ways to go about this problem. Well, I guess the most natural one is to distribute, because that's typically what we do when we have parentheses. And that's fine. That is fine. So that's going to be 2a equals little h b plus little h little b. Alright, so again, keep in mind that we are solving for little b. Okay, so that term, I'm going to leave it, the term that has the little b, I'm going to leave it alone. That is, I'm going to have this little hb, and I'm going to move it to the other side by subtracting it. Alright, that's going to get these two canceled, and that's going to leave us with h little b equals to 2a minus little h big B. Alright? And in order to finally get this little b by itself, all we do is divide both sides by little h. Alright? And that's about it. That's pretty much it. Cancel, cancel. And b equals to 2a minus hb, that's big B, divided by little h. Final answer. And this is a good moment to quit. This was just a very, very short section. I'll see you on the next video.